Hey guys, it's Gemma here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got Ruby with me and I've also got Felix with me, and we're going to tell you all about my UFO experience. Now my UFO experience, I've only ever had one, unfortunately. I wish I had had more. So it happened, I believe the date was 31st of August 2007, and I remember that because I filled out a report for BUFORA, which is the British UFO Association, I think is the title. Now, so the story was I was living in England at the time, in the southwest, in a city called Bath, and it's kind of out in the countryside. It's out towards Bristol. It's a really pretty city, it's a really old city, and it's very much a place that's reputed to have a lot of hauntings, a lot of witchcraft, Wiccan history, that sort of a thing, and some UFO reports as well. It's near Stonehenge, so they say that a lot of paranormal sort of stuff goes on because Stonehenge is I guess it's kind of like a Wiccan, I don't know, hub. It's on ley lines. So anyway, what happened was I was actually living with my aunt at the time, and my two cousins, who are about 10 years older than me, were over at the house. I think it was a Sunday night, and it was summer, so it was quite warm outside. So after dinner, my cousins smoke, so we went outside and they had a cigarette, and my cousin Donna and I were sitting down, sort of facing up at the sky, and my cousin Jason was sort of like walking around talking, so we were looking up at him and the sky was kind of behind him, if that makes sense. So, because we were sitting down on a step, we were looking up. So he was kind of like telling a story, that kind of a thing. I think he was bitching about an ex-girlfriend, so we were like, yeah, whatever. And all of a sudden, this light just appears in the sky behind him. And I thought, oh, it's a shooting star. And I thought, I've never seen a shooting star that big and that bright. And it was moving. And I thought, well, maybe it's a satellite. And once again, I've never seen one that big, that close, that bright, and also that fast. So it just kind of like went across the sky. I'm really rubbish with like guessing at how many kilometers it was away or whatever. I'm not even going to try. But it was almost as if like it was the same distance that, say, a low-flying plane might be. Like, you know, a commercial airliner. So it went across the sky, and then it flashed really brightly, more brightly than it already was, and then it just flew away, like directly away from us, and disappeared. And my cousin stopped talking because he had seen the light on our faces. Like, it actually emanated a light that he could see from behind him, and he stopped talking, and my cousin Donna and I looked at each other and we're like, did you just see that? She's like, yeah, I just saw that. What was that? And we were just like, all of a sudden, the previous conversation that we'd been having was completely forgotten. We were like, oh my god, what was that? What was that? It was definitely not a plane, that wasn't a satellite, that wasn't a shooting star. It was like, we were just completely awestruck, and we were obsessed with it for the following probably 2 weeks. It's practically all we talked about. So my cousin Donna rang the Ministry of Defence to report the sighting, and they didn't know what to do with the call. They just put her through to different departments. She's like, I just want to know what this thing was. Was it something that you guys are aware of? I don't know, you know, I've got no clue what it was. She didn't say it was an alien spacecraft or anything like that, but they couldn't tell her what it was. So in the end they just passed her around, and she said, oh, they just passed me around to all these different departments, and finally I got through to the transport department, and she said, look, don't even worry about it. So she rang Bufora, and they sent us a form to fill in saying what was the date of the sighting, what was the time of the sighting, what was the weather like, you know, was it cloudy, all these different questions and things like that. And then it said, could you draw a description, things like that. So we did that and we sent it off to them, and pretty much never heard anything else apart from that. But it's definitely something that always stuck with us. We hadn't been drinking, so yeah, it was definitely something we couldn't explain. And yeah, ever since then we just never forgot it. And occasionally we'll get together, oh, remember that time we saw that thing? Yeah. It was just really, really weird. And it wasn't like an experience where people say, oh, I saw a flying saucer and it was triangular, or it was cigar shaped, or it was round and it had lights all around it, or anything like that. It was just a really bright ball of light. And it was mechanical. It was definitely something that was being deliberately driven or directed. I didn't get the impression that it was something that was free-falling or anything like that. So yeah, that's my UFO story. It's the only UFO story I have, and hopefully in the future I'll see more. I hope so, but I think it's probably something that happens when you're not expecting it, because we certainly weren't. In fact though, if you're interested in the Ministry of Defence and anything that they've had to do with UFO sightings, I have a book. Could you stop that please? I have this book here, and it's called Open Skies, Closed Minds, and it's by Nick Pope. Nick Pope is kind of an authority in UFOs. I don't even like the term UFOs. I think if somebody knows that they saw an alien spacecraft, it's an alien spacecraft. I think I saw a UFO because I can't identify it. But anyway, this is a really good book. Nick Pope used to work for the Ministry of Defence, I think in the early 90s from memory. It's a really good read. He was placed in the Ministry of Defence in his own kind of category to log and follow up UFO sightings. And he went in there as a skeptic, came out as a believer, and ever since he's, you know, researched this, and yeah, he's kind of all about finding the truth, that kind of a thing. I think they call him the Mulder of the UK or something like that. Anyway, so that's my UFO story. So if you guys have any UFO stories, it'd be really rad to read about them, so put them in the comments below. Yeah, I'm working on some other videos as well. Not only ghosts, I'm doing true crime, a couple of other things too. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and click like if you like the video. See you later. Bye!